Well, gentlemen, we did it. Racism is no more. Viewbob is finally at 500 subscribers on YouTube. Yay! Woo! Yay! Well, I guess I promised a Q&A or something when I got here. You know, I hate talking about myself. I don't like talking about myself at all. I don't like answering questions. I don't like giving my views on anything. So just remember, this is all for you guys. This is not about me at all. So this first question is a bit of an important one. This is one that I get a lot, and I figured what better time than to answer it. So, back when I started making YouTube videos in summer 2013, I was just Sam Spiewak.
Hey guys, Sam here.
And I remember I was a big fan of Vine Sauce at the time, and there was this running joke in Vinny's streams where he would see some strange or bizarre name in a game and say, hey, if anyone in the chat needs a name, here you go. And you see, being 13, I took that seriously. And I remember he was playing a game called the Fantabulous game, and one of the options was Viewbob-true or Viewbob ... and you could set it true, false. And he was like, oh, Viewbob true, if anyone in the chat needs a name, here you go. And so I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna do that, that's gonna be so funny. The thing is, I already had a Twitch account. So I made a new account, and unfortunately someone had taken the actual name, so I had to go with Viewbob_true. And by that point, no one found the joke funny anymore because there were about 5 Viewbob trues in that chat, but it stuck around and that became my name, and here we are today. Hey, you guys want to see me chase away this video's entire viewership by answering one question? Okay, so my political ideology is as follows. Nah, but for real, I don't have any particular political philosophy I 100% subscribe to. I have no tagline to stamp in my Twitter bio. I just kinda agree with whatever I agree with on the particular issue. I think that, honestly, half the time both sides are full of crap, and there are some things I'm left on, some things I'm right on, and I guess you'd call me a centrist, but I don't like that term, because I don't like the connotation it holds. I guess I technically am, but I think when a lot of people hear it, they think of me as like this indecisive person who likes both sides equally. They give themselves too much credit. Oh man, I don't know, I'm only good with Ariel Pink mysteries. A lot of people seem to think that it's Doom for some reason, which it is totally not. That is not his voice at all. I remember a lot of people thought he was Count Base D at first. I don't see the similarities. There are some people who think he's RZA. I could kind of see that. But you know what I think? I think he's just some guy from the underground that Doom knows. Doom is very intertwined in this underground New York hip-hop scene. I think he just knows a lot of people that we don't. And Mr. Fantastic isn't the only person like this on his records. I mean, who's Pebbles the Invisible Girl? Who's Angelica, the chick rapping on Guinnesses? Who's E. Mason, the guy who does the spoken word outro to Doomsday and apparently produced Phasers? So that's pretty cool. I could think of 10 people over there on my shelf who none of you have ever heard of and probably never will just because they're that underground. I think that Doom just knew a lot of people that we didn't, and these are some of those people. Well, beautiful skin can only be maintained by tireless efforts which are ultimately totally futile. Understand? But for real, I'm not. I know this question was a joke, but I'm really not, and I think that comes from our warped perception of just what beauty is. Beauty, to me, isn't this checklist of things that any number of women's magazines would tell you to have. You know, when I'm scrolling through Tinder or ogling girls in the cafeteria at school or even dating someone, what I'm attracted to, what I find beautiful, sexy, isn't this checklist of, does she have long, flowing blonde hair? Does she have slightly tan skin? Does she have luscious lips? What I find more attractive than anything is just personality. I know that sounds really cheesy, because that's like what your mom tells you to make you feel better about being ugly, but it's true. What's attractive to me isn't any number of features, but just who they are. And if that's like, if they wear that as who they are. Like, if your personality is so strong that I could look at you and immediately know it's you just from, like, your wardrobe and the way you act, that's what's attractive. Because really, if I'm in love with a girl, I like to say, I like big boobs, okay? I love a pair of big boobs, man, they're the best. But if I was in love with a girl, I would not care if she had tiny boobs. And that's not even me saying like, oh, I look past sexuality, because like, I don't. I'm like a really, really materialistic, sexual person. But just, I can't imagine being in love with a girl and not being insanely attracted to her small breasts, you know? I think that for me, more than just any outward thing you could describe is just, what are you like inside? Because that's the most attractive thing, and that's what makes everything else about you attractive. That makes any sense. Winter 2014. Winter 2014. Winter 2014. I don't know, it's a tough call. There are points where I'd say all of them are my favorite, and maybe part of that is just how I feel on the particular day, but I always have to go back to Fast Forward, man. You know, they say your first is always the best, and Fast Forward still has my heart. And just something about it, every time I listen to it, I just can't help but say, wow, that is fantastic. Oh, man. Okay, so for me, it comes down to either Madvillainy or Food. And I don't know, I mean, if we're talking strictly what do I think is better, Madvillainy all the way. The album is just so cool, and nothing sounds quite like it, and it's just great song after great song after great song. I mean, I think the only thing I don't like on there is Hardcore Hustle, but even then, that one's just kind of okay. You know, on Food, you have songs like Con Queso, which I don't really like all that much, but on Madvillainy, it's just like, everything is fantastic. But, I don't know, man. Madvillainy is fantastic, but Food has like, it has beef wrap, it has cookies. It is the original version of cookies, depending on which issue you have, and that is just like, that might even trump Madvillainy. So, I'm gonna have to go with the basic, indecisive Doom fan answer and say either Madvillainy or Food. Wild Joe. All the way. No question, I'm just not really a hot beef guy, and Wild Joe is just so cool. It's so fun, it's great, and the songs are legitimately good. Hot Beef is... it's okay. I like some of the songs on it. I really love the Christian Rat Attack cover and that Primus thing he does on one of the bonus tracks, but it's just not really my thing. Do I make music? No, I do not. I have never been very musically proficient. I don't play any instruments. The only song I've ever recorded was when I was like 13, and it was a half cover of an unreleased Pink Floyd song called Reaction in G. It was guitar, lowered pitch guitar to sound like bass, and bongo drums. It was recorded into Audacity. I had just gotten it, and it's the only song I've ever recorded. It's totally lost now. The computer it was on went down. I think I dropped that computer, so yeah, it's totally lost. But no, my medium of choice is the written word, actually. I am a writer. Oh man, favorite Ariel Pink song ever. I mean, there's so many good ones, and every time I think about this, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say Ballad of Bobby Pin. Ah, fuck, Creep Show. I think I'm gonna have to stick with Bobby Pin, though. It's the one song I can, like, always go back to, no matter how I'm feeling, no matter what I've been listening to, what I've been into recently. I can just always say, yes, that is fantastic, I love that, and listen to it like 5 times. I never just listen to it once, so probably Ballad of Bobby Pin. Or Go Pa Acapulco. Shit! South Park, I absolutely love it. Dude, I adore South Park. You can't see, but right over there, not that you can see where I'm pointing either, I have the first 8 seasons on DVD, and this Butters box set, it's so good. I love South Park, I love everything they stand for. The first guy, you want my political ideology, watch South Park, man. A lot of people are actually very surprised to learn that I'm into South Park. I remember I recently, on some social media, posted Christmas Time in Hell, and I said that was the perfect Christmas song for 2020, and later on remarked that I loved their portrayal of Hitler as a whiny little crying bitch. And someone replied to me saying, how do you think the Jews would feel about that making light of Hitler? And I subsequently said, well, I'm Jewish and I like it. And can I just say, as an aside, how fucked up that is? Like, that is absolutely fucked not even the idea that people of any race or ethnic group or religion would act and think the same, which I pray that one day people will realize that's what's, like, really racist, but just, that is so fucked that, like, if I'm Jewish, I should have this, like, irrational fear of, oh, Hitler, the Nazis, like, to me, that is the most, oh, you're not human, you're Jewish thing you could say. But yeah, what was I talking about? South Park? I fucking love South Park, man. It's one of my favorite shows ever. Oh man, I'd love to plagiarize everything. I'd love to be Ariel Pink, be the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Dude, I wish I could be Primus or Cornish in a turtleneck. That's what this comes down to me. Who do you want to be? I don't know. I could never take credit for this because I could never play live. I don't play instruments, but, you know, I would love to, like, be Ariel Pink for a day or be 311. That would be cool. Ugh, fine. I guess you are my little PogChamp. Come here. I assume you're talking about the fact that she is my avatar, like, everywhere on the internet except for YouTube and Instagram? There's two answers to that. For one, just the fact that Cowboy Bebop was just this very formative work for me. I watched it when I was 15, probably. It was the first real anime I'd seen besides Watamote when I was 12. And Ed was, like, my first anime crush. She was just, like, everything I want in a girl. She was just like me! And I, even back then, really related with her. You know, here's her logo on my jacket, by the way. Even today, I find I really relate with her because every character in the show is a different perspective on identity. Talking about the main four, Spike is someone whose identity is defined by his past, and he can't let go of it. Faye is someone who's trying to figure out her identity and doesn't know where she fits in. Jet is someone who believes that his identity's been seen through and he just has not much more to offer, and he's this old man past his time. And Ed, I think, is the most interesting one for a variety of reasons. Her androgyny, the fact that she's not Ed the anything, she's from Earth, but where is she from, you know? They don't really delve into that, and there's good reason. They don't need to. Ed is just Ed. I think there's a couple points in the show where someone says, like, are you a boy or a girl? And that happens in the movie, too. And I think in all 3 or 4 of those occurrences, Ed just says something along the lines of, Ed is Ed. And I really appreciate that. Now, this is different from a non-binary or agender perspective because that's more along the lines of Grin within the show. But I think that Ed is someone who just doesn't care all too much about identity other than, I am me. Ed's not Ed the hacker, Ed the girl, Ed the earthling. Ed is just Ed. And I really appreciate that. That's the way I want to be. I'm not Sam the Jew, Sam the South Park fan, Sam the Ariel Pink fan, Sam the YouTuber. I'm just Sam. I don't know. Part of me wants to say I'd be like, oh, I'd say thank you. I'd thank him for creating everything I hold dear, giving me all this wonderful music, giving me a new outlook on life, taking me when I was in the vulnerable place of 14 years old, and letting me know that it was okay to be who I was, or something stupid like that. But in reality, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't want someone coming up to me as Viewbob and being like, oh my god, I love you so much, you're my favorite YouTuber. Not that I'm anyone's favorite YouTuber. I think that I would just say whatever was on my mind at the time. I'm the kind of person who overthinks every interaction I have, but I'm, like, so anxious that I don't put any of it into effect, actually, and I always just say something stupid and often flounder to create conversations. So what would I say to Ariel when I first met him? Something stupid. Wow, man, 500 subscribers, you know, I still can't believe I've come that far. I think at this point I'm supposed to say thank you to all of my viewers and my subscribers and everyone on Patreon. You know, just for $5 a month, you get your name mentioned in the credits here. I don't have a laundry list of people to thank like that, but just to everyone who's ever supported me, been my friend, watched my videos, thank you all. I love you more than you could ever know. And thank you everyone for helping me get to this milestone. Thank you for helping me build this small community. And here's to 500 more. Here's to 1,000 more. Here's to 1 billion. Let's conquer YouTube, man. Thank you all for watching.
Is that some young kids were able to take someone else's music